It's been 1 year since the arrival of one of the Conservancy's most treasured guests. Betsy, the loggerhead sea turtle, is celebrating this anniversary. Before her afternoon performance, however, she needs to prepare. Conservancy staff record her growth rate so that Florida Fish and Wildlife can monitor her care. Meanwhile, divers descend into her 5,000-gallon simulated patch reef home and work tirelessly to tidy up the stage. Mostly.
Every 2 weeks we take Betsy out of the tank and we weigh and measure her to determine how much she's grown over the course of 2 weeks. So we weigh and measure her to figure out her length, and then we also use the weight to determine how much we feed her. We up her feed about every 2 weeks depending on how much she weighs. We give her about 2% of her body weight. She weighed about 6.8 pounds, which is about 3,000 grams, and then she was a little over 22 centimeters in width and about 28 centimeters in length, I think. I'll double check on that and get you the numbers, but yeah, I think about 28 centimeters in length.
At 28 centimeters in length, Betsy is more than halfway to the 45 centimeter point at which she is ready for release back into the wild. For the time being, however, she has a party to attend. The Dalton Discovery Center is quickly filled with her guests. Betsy receives her usual fare today, smelt dispensed from a long piece of PVC so as not to create an association between people and food for the day she returns to the wild.
So we do 2 different feeds. We'll feed her once in the morning and then we'll do in the park.
She's also given a special treat for the occasion, an anniversary smelt cake made from layers of ice and delicious fish bits.
She gets a variety of different types of fish, so we'll feed her squid.
Conservancy staff provide the usual day's sea turtle talk, as well as a special presentation of Betsy's personal history with the organization. Among the assembly is Andrea Jones, a dear friend of Betsy Sandstrom, after whom Betsy the sea turtle was named.
Betsy was a very good friend of ours. We knew her from tennis and mahjong and lunch. She lived in our community, and then she developed cancer in her lungs that spread everywhere. So a friend of ours told us there was an article in the newspaper about naming the baby loggerhead turtle. So I came up with this idea, like, let's push for Betsy, because she was a volunteer, her mother was a volunteer, her whole family loved wildlife, and she took pictures of everything. So anyway, I started pushing on Facebook to vote and got everybody to spread the message and share with their friends, and we followed it. And I would bring my iPad over to Betsy and show her on my iPad the voting every day when it was 60-some%. It made me cry. That it went up to 70%, and she was so happy. She would cry every day when I would show her the iPad. She started to cry. She was so happy. And we weren't sure if she was going to be well enough to come here that day last year, but somehow they hired a van, the family, and got her here, and she laid right here. And it was wonderful, and she was so happy. And then if you watch the interview from last year, she gave her thumbs up, like she was so happy when she was in the other room and got to really be right next to the turtle. It was like a dream come true for her. And then she died in July. So it was very bittersweet, but she was so happy in the end.